Good afternoon, crewmates. Welcome to class. It's Miss Kayla here. Today's date is Thursday, July 7th, 2022, and hopefully today's weather is another bright and sunny, beautiful day. The fun fact I have for you guys is that a single ant can carry 50 times its own body weight. Can you carry something 50 times your size? An ant may be really tiny, but it sure does have a lot of strength. Okay, we're going to start off today's class with a book called The Perfect Pet. And this will connect to our essential question, how can a pet be an important friend? And the writing activity that I will talk more about later. So let me bring you over to the book. Okay, so as you listen to this book, I want you to pay attention to all the different pets that you can have and see what Elizabeth, this girl right here, the main character, does to try to convince her parents to get the pet that she wants. It's certainly not easy task, so let's see how she does it.
Hello, boys and girls. It's Mrs. Pecora here, ready to read you a fabulous story for today. So today's story is called The Perfect Pet by Margie Palatini, illustrated by Bruce Watley. The Perfect Pet. I wonder what that is, boys and girls. Looks like a bug. Elizabeth really wanted a pet. Her parents really did not. They gave her a plant instead. Mind you, it was a very good-looking plant, as cactus plants go, and it had quite a prickly sense of humor. Elizabeth named it Carolyn, which seemed to suit it just fine. It was absolutely no trouble, and it was a very good listener. Snuggling was a bit of a challenge. However, Elizabeth did manage a quick hug now and then. Elizabeth really did like the plant, but she still really wanted a pet. And she had a plan. The element of surprise. So, how about a horse? Huh? What? Who? Said father. Who? What? Huh? Said mother. I could ride it, give it carrots, lumps of sugar. A horse would be the perfect pet. What do you say? Father yawned. A horse is too big. Mother sighed. Our yard is too small. Why, it would eat us out of house and home, said father. A horse is not quite perfect, dear, said mother, going back to sleep. Not quite perfect, said father sleepily. Scratch the horse. Catch them off guard. How about a dog? Huh? What? Who? Said father as he stood in front of the mirror shaving. Who? What? Huh? Said mother, peeking from behind the shower curtain and dripping soapy water. I could take it for walks, teach it tricks, feed it treats, play fetch. A dog would be the perfect pet. What do you think? Father spit shaving cream. Dogs bark. They're much too loud. Mother grabbed a towel. They jump all over the furniture. A dog is not quite perfect, Elizabeth, said father as he shaved. Not quite perfect, called mother from the shower. Forget Fido. The full stomach. Blah. You know what would hit the spot right about now? Asked Elizabeth. I'm thinking a cat. Huh? What? Who? Said father. Who? What? Huh? Said mother. A cat could lick the plates, curl up in my lap, drink leftover milk, and would always know what to do with the extra string. A cat would be the perfect pet. So, how about it? Father picked up the newspaper. Cat scratch. Mother cleared the table. Cat shed all over. A cat is definitely not the perfect pet, said father. Achoo! I'm sneezing already, said mother. Cross off Kitty. Go for broke. How about a bird, bunny, turtle, fish, guinea pig, rat, any, all? Take your pick, said Elizabeth. Her parents looked at each other. Nope. Afraid not. Not quite. Too fishy. Don't even go there. What's left? Moaned Elizabeth. Doug. Elizabeth was thinking she would never, ever find the really, really, really perfect pet when, what do you know? She really, really did. In fact, she almost stepped on it. Right there on her rug. A bug. Elizabeth picked him up. She held him in her hand, looked him in the eyes. He wasn't too big. He most definitely was not too loud. He couldn't jump on the furniture, didn't scratch, didn't shed, and how much food could he possibly eat? He was the perfect pet. Carolyn totally agreed. Snug. Doug moved right into the lovely house in the corner of Elizabeth's room. It had everything a bug could possibly want and more, including his very own cactus plant, as Carolyn was only a hop, skip, and a jump away. He truly enjoyed sunning himself in her sand. Of course, Elizabeth provided him with enough crumbs to satisfy any growing bug's appetite. As expected, the relationship was a tad different than usual. Doug could not give Elizabeth a pony ride. She could not take him for a walk. He could not catch a ball or fetch, no matter how many times they practiced. And try as he might, Doug couldn't get the hang of playing with string. But he was very helpful with homework. He always knew where to put a decimal or a period. And he loved snuggling up with Elizabeth each night for a story. What more could you ask? He was perfect. Unsnugged. With all those crumbs and plenty of sun, Doug grew by leaps and bounds. He was one big, healthy bug, and then some. The only trouble really came on one Saturday morning many weeks later. Elizabeth's mother came into her bedroom to get the laundry and, "There's a bug in that bed!" she screamed. "A bug!" shouted Father, ready to swat. "That's Doug," said Elizabeth very protectively. "He's my pet." Parents looked at each other. "Pet?" "Pet," said Elizabeth, "just like you wanted. He's not big like a horse. He isn't loud like a dog. He doesn't jump on furniture, scratch, or shed. And he hardly eats a thing." "But a bug?" asked Father. "A bug?" repeated Mother. "Doug," said Elizabeth, "and he's perfect."
Look at all those reasons she told her parents why Doug, the bug, was the perfect pet.
One big, happy family. "I think we should have said yes to the dog," whispered Father to Mother. Mother shrugged. "I don't know. We have more room on the couch with the bug." Elizabeth smiled and tossed Doug a piece of popcorn.
So, after Elizabeth saying she wants all these pets, she said a horse, a cat, a dog. Her parents kept saying no to all her ideas. Instead, she ends up with a cactus, right? Do you see this cactus right here? They said, "This is something that you can have, a cactus called Carolyn." And after some very successful bargaining or campaigning, her wonderful surprise was Doug, right? The most unusual but special pet of all. Okay, crewmates, now is the time to take out a piece of paper and something to write with for your writing activity, which I will explain in just a brief moment. Go ahead and do that right now. So, just like the story we read yesterday, Finding Cal, we are going to be writing almost like a diary entry, but it's a letter, okay? The very first thing that you need to do in the top left corner is write the date. Today's date is July 7, 2022. Make sure you have use the right capital letters, capital J, and the comma goes next to the 7. Next, you're going to be choosing a person to write this letter to. So it's going to be the person that you are trying to convince to get you the pet that you want so bad. So in the book we just read, The Perfect Pet, Elizabeth is convincing her parents. So in the line we will write, "Dear parents." You can even write to just your mom. "Dear mom," your dad, maybe your aunt or brother. You can write their name too. Maybe it's to me. Maybe you can try to convince me to get you your favorite pet. But in that line, choose a person to write to, okay? The very first sentence is, if I were to have any pet in the world, it would be a, in that line, write the pet that you want. Don't forget, every time you start a paragraph, you need to use 2 finger spaces to indent. So just like I have here, make sure you leave a little bit of a space before your very first sentence. It should probably line up with the name of your person, like this. Copy my paper exactly, okay? All right. And the next 3 sentences, you are going to be writing 3 reasons why they should get you that pet. Okay? In these 3 sentences here, I use something called transition words. That makes your writing a lot stronger and it sounds a lot smoother. So I use the transition words first for the first reason. After the transition word, you put a comma. Then I said, in the next sentence, I wrote next, comma, and then the last reason I put last, comma. So these 3 sentences, you're telling me your 3 reasons why that person should get you that pet. And if you need help writing about your pet, here are some questions to ask yourself. What can your pet do? What makes your pet perfect? Is there anything cool or special about your pet? Also, you can write about how that pet would be a good friend to you. So let me write out what Elizabeth's letter would look like as an example. So Elizabeth would say, "Dear parents, if I were to have any pet in the world, it would be a bug. First, it is not big like a horse." That's what she said, right? Next, it is not loud like a dog. And her last reason would be, the bug does not scratch. Those are her 3 reasons. And the last sentence is a concluding sentence that summarizes why your parents or that person should get you the bug. So Elizabeth would write, "A bug is the perfect pet because it is most special of them all." All right? And lastly, leave a little bit of space. And right over here to the right side of your paper, you're going to sign your name with "Sincerely." Make sure that S is capitalized. Add a comma after "Sincerely." And in that line, write your name. Okay? So this is how your paper should look like. And if you have enough room at the bottom, draw a little picture of you and your pet. This is my picture here. It's me and my pet skunk. All right, that's it for today's writing activity. Ask your teacher to pause here so that you can copy my paper and fill in the blanks. All right, be sure to do a good job. I want to hear what you guys wrote the next time we meet on Monday. Have a great weekend, you guys. Bye-bye.